Well, good morning. Talk about introspection. After my dream yesterday and other things that happened and that I watched through the day creates a tremendous amount of speculation, meditation, just looking within, asking questions. Let me just get on with the title and the blurb and then continue talking. Are the esoteric and exoteric laws the same? What you resist persists is seen in most spiritual circles as a law. To me, that is an esoteric law. And exoteric laws work exactly the opposite. What you ignore persists. What we are meant to see in ourselves will and must be seen in order to grow. However, what we must correct in the world must be faced head on and addressed passionately in order to create heaven on earth. That's how I see it. Am I wrong, as many of my friends insist? Can we change the world by ignoring the problems and focusing only on positive things with approved emotions? This is probably the biggest challenge of my life. To me, it is a paradox that most people don't get, which frustrates me. It won't help me to hear anyone's opinion, which often feels like an attack. I have to see and know it for myself. So, I believe, do you. I'm going to try my best to stay calm as I talk about this. But it's not easy for me. I've labeled myself the paradox man. Well, the root of it goes back to 1981, 82, when Bruce Morgan, my mentor, said that I was able to see the paradox and express the paradox better than almost anyone that he saw. And when I first created an email address, it was Paradox Man, my very first email address. When I wrote my poems, I saw them as paradox publications. My poems and other writing, I saw them as paradox publications. I just took on the label paradox because I could see what appeared to me to be exact opposite things, and they were each true in their respective realm, which is why I said what you resist persists, what you ignore persists. They are two different realms. One is the matrix, and one is the higher energies of knowing ourself. And I just need to say just a little bit to set the stage. In my personal shadow work, I had to get to the place where I could love the shadow in me, not ignore it, not deny it, but love the shadow in me, spend time in the so-called negative or dark emotions, and recognize that those emotions don't hurt. And by embracing them, they heal. Okay, that's the esoteric meaning of what you resist persists as I see it. And again, this is as I see it. The world works, as I see it, exactly the opposite. What I refuse to see in the world around me, what I turn my eyes away from, what I close my heart to and my mind to, continues to fester, continues to get worse. I've watched it in the world. Like most people on earth, I was pretty ignorant of what was going on. Even through till the end of the 20th century, I still pretty much believed that government leaders ultimately had our best interests at heart. Then came George W. Bush and 9/11. It was a wake-up call for me and for a lot of people. And most people in the United States refused to see the corruption of our government leaders, refused to see what was pulling the strings and what was making this thing happen, this atrocity. And so I joined the 9/11 Truth Movement. Ultimately, with the lawsuit, I became a free man, or worked with exposing the government, exposing the corruption in our world. I became aware of the horrible conspiracies against humanity by the very people that were entrusted with positions of leadership. Whether this is taking place on the extraterrestrial level or not, it's certainly taking place on the terrestrial level, on our planet. Okay, in my dream yesterday, the tall marble building that I was in at the beginning, I believe, was not on this earth. The interview was not with words. It was almost like I was being read, and I couldn't even see the ones that were interviewing me as people, if you will. It was just sort of an energy field. And part 2 of the dream was merely the fact that I fell asleep or after waking up to the part that I was in this place. I fell back to sleep and then woke back up again. And when I woke back up again, that's when I got the message, you got the job. And again, it wasn't words. It wasn't words. There wasn't a being, if you will, that was interviewing me and telling me anything. It was just knowing. And then I fell asleep again, and I woke back up, and you've got to get to Building 9. Building 9, there was lots of interesting interpretations on that. To me, it meant go back down to Earth where your mission is, and 9 is the completion of Earth's evolution, if you will. It's the last step in this phase, anyway, of evolution. Okay, go back down to Building 9. Some said that 9 is my Enneagram type, which it is, and it has to do with me. Bill Ballard said that it was, what did he say? The divine voice or message or something. I can't remember the exact phrase he used. He used it several times. I should have written it down, but I didn't. In any case, 9 is representative of me and the earth. I think those are both correct interpretations. And of my mission here on earth, which is to embrace the paradox. I don't believe that's incorrect. I've seen that as my mission for a long time. My friend, one of my friends, called me yesterday afternoon as I'm meditating on the dream. And he's the one that said, what you resist persists. Now, for a long time in my spiritual community, people have said that I'm negative, said that I have bad energy, that I'm living in fear, none of which I see. None of which I see. But other people claim to see that. When they see me, you're not coming from a place of love, Ron. You're coming from a place of fear. Because I'm looking at the world and I'm seeing atrocities. And somebody posted on my Facebook wall yesterday a video that was, 20 something minutes long, that they actually filmed the police in Great Britain, in England, coming and kidnapping a newborn baby from its parents. Here's the authorities kidnapping a newborn baby. I was absolutely enraged to see that. That totally flew in the face of natural law. And my reaction was, these people that are doing this arrest need to have it shown to them so that they can get it. Because they're not going to get it unless they can get disconnected from whatever belief system, mindset that they have. It has to be a wake-up call. And it has to happen to them in 3 dimensions. Because that's where the matrix is, and they have to get disconnected from the matrix. And I posted, I was the only one posting in the thread. Incensed I was over what's going on in the statistics of how they've created an industry where they steal babies from parents and young children from parents and put them into a pedophile ring, for all I know, so that the robed priests and the robed magistrates and judges can have fun with innocent lives. And it enrages me to know that this is going on this planet, and that most people aren't even aware of it, number one, and even if they become aware of it, they tend to turn away and deny it and pretend it's not there and not do anything about it. And I'm sorry. See how easy it is for me to get passionate. Now, my friends would look at me and say, Ron, you're maintaining the problem because you're focusing energy on what's wrong. And I look at it and I say, no, it's the other way around. You that are not looking at the problem, that are not owning the collective shadow, you're responsible because you're not doing your part in helping to bring it to the conscious awareness of everybody so that the lights can shine on it, so that we can rise up together and say no more. And say, this is not the way we're going to live. We're not going to do this anymore. One of my friends, who you can go back and you can watch him on the video, speaking very passionately around outside of my fireplace, we've got to have boots on the ground. That's the same person that told me on Friday night that I was wrong. That I can't expect people to actually put their boots on the ground and take action. Because people can't live like that. People have to just go along with the system because that's what the system is. And we've got to just go along with it till it changes. Well, to me, it'll never change if that's our attitude. Because to me, what you ignore persists. What you ignore remains unchanged because you do not address it. Because you do not address it. Now, what do I do when I get enraged like this? When I find these energies, I spend time with them. This is what I did yesterday. It's what I did again this morning. I do Ho'oponopono. I start praying for these people. How are they going to get it? How can I deliver the message so that people get the message? That we are responsible for what's going on here. Collectively and individually, we have to do something about it. Whatever that is, we have to find a way to do something about it so that we can fix the problem. And then there are people that tell me, but Ron, there's nothing to be fixed. There's no problem. It's perfect just the way it is. How can you say, when you've got 6 police people or authority figures coming into the home of new parents and stealing their infant baby. How can you say? How can you even think that? But yet people do. That's where they are. Then I watched a movie last night in French called La Belle et Verte, or The Green Beautiful. And I'm surprised I watched the whole movie. And there was this group of humans, looked like humans, that were living in an idealistic society on a different planet than Earth. And Mila came to Earth because her grandmother had gone to Earth. Nobody wanted to go to Earth except her and the whole group, because Earth was such a messed up place. But anyway, she went to Earth, and she was able to shake her head and do something that disconnected people from the Matrix and made them loving. And it was very humorous. The concert that they went to, that she did it with some of the band members, it totally changed the concert. And then a soccer game, she did it again to the soccer players, and instead of competing with each other, they ended up dancing with each other. It was hilarious. But in any case, she was able to do something and say, get out of it. You're entrapped in some negative energy, some negative field. Get out of it. She was able to actually do something that changed the situation. Well, that's my frustration. I see the situation in the world, and I think that because people don't look at it, because people turn their head, and my friend told me 3 people from the Tuesday group, and there's only been at the most 8 people that have ever attended that group since it's been in my house. 3 people called my friend Steve and said, we're not going to watch Ron's videos anymore. We don't like his energy. And this has been going on in my life for years, since I started Paradox Magazine back in the 90s. People have held me at bay, talked about me behind my back, and some of it has come back to me, that I'm negative. Because this is how I see the world. I see that we have to embrace the paradox. What we do in our personal life is one thing. What we do in the world is another thing. Because for me, there's 2 different rules that apply. Whereas some people only want to do the what you resist persists, which gives them, as I see it, an excuse for denial, an excuse not to pay attention, for non-involvement in our world, for avoiding the real issues in our world, and it frustrates me. So I've shared with you this morning so that you can see. I've held it out as best I can so that you can see the nature of what's in me, and maybe together we can come up with a solution that really does accomplish what I feel my mission on earth is to accomplish. That is to create heaven on earth, to create this ideal situation where people actually love one another, where people actually listen to one another. There's many other things that I could talk about, but that would make the video too long, and I don't want it to go over 20 minutes. It's already 19. So I'm going to have to pull the string. Maybe I'll talk about it more in tomorrow or in a future video. I don't know. But thank you for listening, and I hope hearing what I'm saying so that you at least understand where I'm coming from and why I appear to some people as being negative, when to me I'm one of the most loving people that I know on the planet. I mean, I truly love everybody, even the people that are doing all the dastardly deeds. That's all I can say. It's going to go over 20 if I keep going. Namaste. Thank you.